This brand new RustTyrannomon Ace card can surprise your opponents by suspending all their Digimon, getting them ready to be crushed.
Alright, so for our first matchup today, we're going to be playing against the red WarGreymon deck, which is definitely one of the stronger decks as well in the BT14 format. We are going first with our opening hand. Looks pretty good, you know, even though without a rookie, we have a lot of search cards that we can potentially try to find it. We have agility training, we have the green memory boost as well. I'm not too worried overall, and I think this is a keepable hand. Just because of, you know, we want to find pieces, we want to search pieces at the same time. But when it comes to RustTyrannomon deck, when you play it, we definitely want to see Tamers eventually somehow as well. There's going to be a lot of ways to play a lot of Tamers for free in this deck too, which is fantastic. We'll continue to find more search pieces, and we're going to continue to find a rookie in the end and feel like, okay, let's grab the Palmon, or we can grab the Kukuamon, you know, because they both have different purposes, which is kind of neat. I like the Palmon because I was just going to think like, oh, we do suspend stuff as we climb through our stack. If we're able to suspend their one of their bodies on the board, we can gain a lot of memory with its starter main effect. And also what I was thinking was, I have so much setup, I can play green memory boost all the way through and then just sit with a Palmon and raising, and then just wait for the right moment, come out, and then use all that resources to climb straight into my level 6 just like that too. So, you know, things are relatively like slower pace in the beginning, just because we're both finding pieces and setting up. Here I decided to go to grab the new Tyrannomon because I was thinking, oh, maybe I can just utilize it, but really, I think I really should have just grabbed the Togemon instead because it's more memory efficient, it costs less memory to digivolve, and it can also reduce digivolution costs at the same time. And I wouldn't really be able to utilize the Tyrannomon that I have currently in hand as my only level 4, especially from what I mentioned earlier. I was going to try and use the Palmon effect of the starter main as well, right? Because with the Tyrannomon, it's also a starter main effect too. I find another one in my hand at this point, so I'm just like, oh, I think I kind of made a little bit of a mistake when it comes to, like, you know, suboptimal searching, grabbing pieces there. But we also find ourselves an Arbomon, which you definitely want to keep because we play a lot of Tamers, so we can have it, you know, potential for hybrid for game. That's what we really like to see as well. And here now I'm in a little bit of a stickier situation. I'm contemplating if I should give them fewer memory, or do I want to save my boost here? I decided to just go into Tyrannomon in the end just because it was a little bit of a missed opportunity. I don't see them having an extra body on the board that I can sort of utilize either. I didn't really want to slap down a rookie and give them a raid target as well at the same time because it could be very dangerous. But we're also still in a kind of dangerous spot here too, because if they have it, we give them quite a bit of memory to work with. They can actually easily digivolve into like a big stack and do multiple checks in one go and take out probably all of our security and even blitz Omni for game if they have the correct pieces, which doesn't seem like they do. So we're kind of lucky on that side of things where we're able to. So, but really reflecting back, I think I really could have easily just used a green memory boost to give them fewer memory to work with. They swing 2 checks with WarGreymon here, finding both our Taigas in security, which is absolutely stacked here. They also swing with Omni. They can blitz here, which they do have it. So if they have extra checks somehow in their stack, they would probably able to clear out our security, but they give us so much value from that, which is fantastic. We do play a lot of Tamers in this deck after all, so it's not surprised to see it like that. But they still get the reboot. They still have a blocker, which is going to be really good for them. But here, we have so many resources to work with. We can pop off like crazy here. We're going to push up our Tyrannomon, of course, use the starter main to reduce digivolution costs. Our Palmon reduces for another 1, and we suspend the 2 Taigas to reduce another 2, effectively going into this Metal Greymon for 0. And this Metal, sorry, not Metal Greymon, but this Metal Tyrannomon. Metal Tyrannomon gets to suspend down their Omnimon. And since I only see that they have 1 stack built on there, we don't let them unsuspend during their unsuspend phase. And I don't think they can unsuspend any further with their Blitz Omni anyways. So here we're in a pretty good situation, good spot. We can't swing over it just because it is, after all, at least like 18 KDP there, which is kind of huge. I did notice that they could have suspended their tie to give us fewer memory to work with, if you know, because they kind of gain a memory when they digivolve through their stack from the last turn. But honestly, it doesn't matter too much. We talked about it afterwards the game anyways. We have so much setup here. We're going to show you guys how we sort of counter stomp against this big stack deck. Here, I'm not super worried that I have to like finish the game at this moment, even at 0 security. I'm just trying to think, okay, how can I play more defensively? I just need to give them as few memory to work with as possible. and just not let them, you know, they have nothing else on board basically. You know, they have to hatch a new egg. You know, they don't have rush or anything. We're sitting okay, so I decided to hard play the Palmomon and just pass them at 2 and see what they can really do, which I highly doubt. Again, like, you know, Wargreymon is a very big stack deck after all. You go into it, you know, you don't have extra bodies to go for attacks either. We have pretty neat inheritables as well when it comes to back to our turn, and we want to make sure that the Omnimon comes back down in DP, because later on our RustTyrannomon is going to be stronger than it and we can swing over it for sure. Here they're seeing what they can really do. I guess they just have to try and rebuild at this point. And we have Mimi as well at the same time, so our, you know, turn starts at 3 memory. I also played it earlier because I kind of want to cycle and sort of like have a extra rookie at the back, because then I can utilize Palmon, and I do suspend stuff as I go through and as I digivolve through my stack anyways, and if I can suspend something down, whatever the defensive play they come up with is not going to help too much. We have Palmon, we're going to give it to the Omnimon, lose 2 memory, but it doesn't really matter too much here, because I think this is going to be the last turn to make it for the play. We're going to build up our stack a little bit, and digivolving for free all the way through is just so good. We'll pop our boost, we'll use everything we have, and I see Master Tyrannomon in my hand, and I really want to get into it, because if I get into it, I can actually do a ton of damage and finish them off. Again, with Taigas and Palmons, you know, reducing the Digivolution cost by 3, having to pay 4 memory is nothing. No worries. This deck is built to reduce so much. So we are going to swing RustTyrannomon. We get to trash the security thanks to Metal Tyrannomon. We get to unsuspend and pierce for 2 checks. And that's a ton of damage just like that. Tyrannomon, Master Tyrannomon finished the game with RustTyrannomon right here.
Wave 2 is here. We got 2 new products. You guys love the first series Cyberzone so much, we decided to make some new color variations just for you. We also have a brand new design for the winter season, where we have our second series, Winter Zero. And this time, it comes with different colorways right off the bat. The new drops are now live on the AVAULT store right away for pre-order, so be sure to check it out. Both new drops have single and 2-player versions as well.
Okay, so for the second game, we're going to be playing against Lugamon, which is definitely one of the hyper and stronger decks of this format too. So we're going to give ourselves a challenge and see what we can do against it. Now, we are starting first, and our opening hand doesn't look good at all. So we're trying to mulligan. You know, we only find ourselves a green memory boost. I don't think that's the most ideal way to see it, because then we have, you know, a level 4 and all that. But I think we can grab ourselves a better hand and sort of play from it. Again, ideally what we want to see is like a level 3, level 4, you know, like sort of build our stack that way. And also a couple of tamers, which is nice, but also mainly like from the first game, agility trainings and green memory boost as much as possible. Here we don't really find what we want to see, but at least we still get to see like a level 3 and a 4. Unfortunate that we have to digivolve Arbomon there. But I think, like, you know, cycling through cards is just super important. So even though we like to save it for like hybrid for game, it was really important. I also decided to push it up as quickly as possible, because when it comes to against Lugamon, they don't really have too much like that can like sort of stop us or sort of like pop us. And really my other priority was to try and digivolve and hatch my eggs, because I do see multiple rookies in my hand as quickly as possible. There earlier with the agility training, you guys may have noticed that we actually revealed another level 4 and a Palmomon both at the same time. Now I decided, you know, ideally it makes more sense to grab the level 4, because you can continue to build your stack and cycle through more cards. But in this specific matchup, Palmomon is a super MVP hard counter against Lugamon generally, because it stops them from playing Digimon via FX. And when I stopped them from playing Digimon via FX, they basically forced to answer that particular card, which is why I decided to keep Palmomon. Here, alternatively, we went into Digimon, which is actually one of our sort of like secondary boss Digimon other than RustTyrannomon. It's really good because it lets us play Tamers for free. It lets us play more bodies on the board too for free at the same time, with its when digivolving and when attacking effects. But we give them so much value here, and we have a Master Tyrannomon that has extra security +1. When we swing into it, we do 2 checks, but you guys can see they have so much set up now on the board. They have like triple miss memory boost, you know, a wisdom training, analog, and an AG to work with as well. At this moment, to pass turn, I have to slap down the Palmomon, because if I don't, they can just get into it, and if they have the pieces, it's just all over for us. We don't have enough defenses either, because we don't have level 4s or 5s to go into ace to counter anything that they're going to play against us either. So the Palmomon has to be the play there and to pass it. Here they go into Fangmon. I believe, you know, the typical play and the typical way for them to remove us is to go into ALittleSpoon, which can basically pop almost anything, which is really, really good. Here they're contemplating and we're sort of discussing whether using Wisdom Training was the most ideal way or not, which really isn't, because you want to actually pass turn, use ALittleSpoon's end of turn. You can unmind Link with AG, delete ALittleSpoon, draw cards, use Analog, hatch an egg, and keep your turn that way. And now you can rebuild and find another way to answer our board in this current board state here as well. They got rid of the Palmamon, so then they can be set up for the next turn, but their next challenge here against us is to try and actually set up some defenses or somehow remove our board a little bit. But they have a lot of memory and resources to work with, which is really, really good there. Because the next turn, we're still sitting in a pretty decent situation, because with Digimon, if we go through 2 checks, we still have 3 other bodies that can make multiple attacks. They have to play defensive. We're pressuring them really, really hard here as much as possible. So they do go into their full combo. They go into Soluga, play out a Fasco, which is a blocker that they will need, go into Fenrir Lugamon as well. And then Fenrir Lugamon gets to play like triple bodies essentially, and they can play a bunch of stuff here, you know, such as the Lugarmon, Black Gatomon, and one more body, which is the Fangmon too. They can even utilize the Fangmon's on play effect to grab something back from trash and then trash another card from their hand. Here they're trying to see if they can actually like toss something else and resolve in between, but you can't. You have to resolve Fenrir Lugamon. They're trying to see if they can toss away a Fascomon from their hand and then potentially play another blocker just to, you know, have more defense, but you can't. You have to like play everything first and then you resolve the on-play effects afterwards. You play all 3 things. So here we're talking about and seeing like, you know, it's probably more ideal to, rather grabbing the Solugarmon back, is to grab a ALittleSpoon and then use ALittleSpoon's end of turn, delete itself again, so you can actually delete our Digimon. So then it gets rid of the stack overall, because Digimon is still relatively strong. I think it has pretty decent DP and it can go over Fenrir Lugamon too, and they don't want to have that. So we're trying to see what the most optimal play here overall is. We're sort of saying like, hey, how much memory can you give me and all that, but it doesn't really matter too much, because here, even though they give us more memory to work with, we get to use our Palmons, starter main, we give it all to the Fenrir Lugamon right there, and we have a way to suspend it. We're going to gain a ton back either way. So regardless of how much memory they give us, we're going to end the game right here, right now. If they don't give it our Digimon, you guys can see in our hand, we have Quartzmon to answer back too. And with Quartzmon to answer back, we can stop them from going through their entire board right there, suspend everything, and take out their security all at the same time as well, which is going to be really strong. This is why, again, Metal Tyrannomon is so good, because when you Digivolve into it, we suspend their Fenrir Lugamon, gain 4 memory, because more like lose 4 memory for them because of Palmon, because we have both of them. And we get to go into our RustTyrannomon Ace here, which is our main spotlight boss Digimon of the deck. We suspend down everything that they have. We don't necessarily need to utilize its Ace all the time, because, you know, we can use it for offensive applications as well. By suspending all of the rest of their Digimon, you know, even Fascomon is suspended, so they can't block with Fascomon there. And we're basically clear to basic win game, essentially, other than, you know, if we run into like a security bomb or anything like that. So we're going to swing over the Fenrir Lugamon with RustTyrannomon, trash one with Metal Tyrannomon's effect, and trash another with Rusty's effect as well, trashing 2 security, which is absolutely insane. And here we're just going to go for it and finish the game just like that, which is really cool showcase of how we can utilize this brand new RustTyrannomon there.
So don't forget to check out the AVAULT store right away, as links will be left in the description box down below. If you want to see more gameplay videos, be sure to check out this video right here, right now. As always, thank you so much for watching. You guys have a great day, great night, wherever you are. See you in the next video. This is AVAULT, signing out.